So this is a video about Egypt. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I made a video talking about my thoughts on the whole Cleopatra thing. And yes, there were a lot of comments and I read through them, but there was something that was cutting across all the comments. And I thought, why not take time to actually talk about it? Because it's pretty interesting how one thing, a person's selfish move can actually totally try to destroy something that is already well created. I'm making this video because of Egypt. Because back in 2017, I think I played a video game called Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, it did not have an accurate depiction of Cleopatra. Let me just put it that way. It did not have an accurate depiction of Julius Caesar. It did not have a clear, an accurate depiction of what Egypt was. But that video game from 2017 actually tried and made something good out of history. They made an effort to actually make a good historical representation of Egypt during that particular period. An accurate depiction of the country and the people would be far more interesting than just focusing on one individual. Because as I was saying, I played a video game called Assassin's Creed Origins, which had a much more better representation of what Egypt was like. Now, it's not about Cleopatra. I walked out of that and went like, this is an interesting representation of the country. When I played that video game, I got an understanding of what Egypt actually looks like and feels like, rather than going like it's only a pyramid and a few paintings on the wall. There was something into it. There was something about the people. There was something about how they lived that particular period. There was something about how the world, everyone related during that particular period. And the thing now about this show that, again, it's a big letdown. You feel that they chose to focus so much on polarizing the character than actually trying to create a world where you and I could be immersed and could actually watch and get an idea of what Egypt was during that particular period. There are details within the video game, a 2017 video game, that are more interesting than a 2023 docudrama on Netflix. I think we should start focusing on Cleopatra as an Egyptian, and she was a pharaoh. Egypt should be the, if you don't need to say, yes, you can go into all the historical details and say that she was from Greece and she was whatever. Yes, all that happened, but the fact is, at the end of the day, even up to her death, and what she fought for was Egypt, and she learned about Egypt, and she wanted to understand Egypt. And the most important thing, even in how they make their movies and how they make their documentary, is to establish that she was a pharaoh of Egypt, and Egypt should be the centerpiece. And people should take more time to stop talking about Cleopatra and start thinking about, not necessarily stop talking, but in the quest to talk about Cleopatra, they should pay more attention to the country itself, where she lived, how she lived, the environment around her, the country itself, why she needed to learn all that languages, why she needed to move from one side to the other. What was the big deal about that? What does the Nile have an effect on, or how does the Nile during that particular period affect Egypt at that particular period? So yeah, I just wanted to put this video out there for maybe, I don't know, the Egypt people, because I feel that we are all so consumed by this one figure that we forget that she was actually an Egyptian, an Egyptian pharaoh. Because some people just want to make her a queen, an African queen, but they forget that even if she was in Africa, and she was an African queen, and I'm an African, and I fully embrace the fact that she was an African queen, and I'm like, yeah, she was an African queen and all that, but primarily at its core, she was an Egyptian queen. And as if they think of making a movie or a documentary about Cleopatra, they should also focus on telling us a story about Egypt during that one particular period. And I'm talking about all this because of Assassin's Creed Origin. So if you really want to get an idea about how the world look, and you feel like Queen Cleopatra really disappointed you in terms of the look of Egypt during that one particular period, I highly recommend that you go play Assassin's Creed Origins. And just to go, I don't know why the Western world, and just to go on speculation route, I don't know why the Western world thinks that they understand a property. Yes, Assassin's Creed was made by the Western people, but they put in a lot of research. They actually hired professors to actually sketch out some things and try to give them an accurate depiction of how the country looked at during that particular period. But it's kind of clear that the Western world takes Africa for granted, because they are the same people who believe that the pyramids were made by aliens, they were not made by Africans, and there was no way Egypt was that much advanced to create things like that. I wish that these people, I would wish that one of these producers would sit down and decide to make something that children in the future would go and reference and actually put it on research paper, and the professor would look at it and go like, yes, I approve this because it's pretty historically accurate, you know. I would wish that what I would like to call an educational supplement, whereby someone would go there to get details and correct, well thought through information about certain aspect, be Cleopatra, be Shaka Zulu, whoever. I wish that the producers would just try to make authentic stuff rather than trying to send a message. Anyway, that's it. As I said, this was a video about Egypt. I just felt like Egypt was underrepresented. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll most likely see you on the next one.